So we're going live a little early.
Okay, okay. Uh, like scam likely. I have gotten 4 scam calls already today.
Okay, so we are live.
All right.
Wanda's Picks Live. We are live now, and it's being live streamed. And yeah, really excited about this conversation. I've been wanting to have it with you for a minute.
Good, good.
Yeah, yeah.
Me
So
too.
this
This
is
meeting is
excellent.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So
Oh,
you said that Sister Lola
uh-huh.
May Hanif is in the house with us, and we're gonna be talking about what Mama used to say. You guys gotta listen to your mama, she knows best, and your grandmama and your great grandmama and your great aunts and your aunties,
Absolutely.
all those nanas,
Being
and
recorded, but
that lived a life that's certainly worth exploring, those of us that haven't lived that life because we haven't lived that long.
it's
And what Mama used to say, handbook of old sayings, OLE, sayings,
yes.
by Sister Lola May Honey, Masters of Arts in Creation Spirituality. Yeah, so it's gonna be so cool. So we're
Yeah.
gonna start
Let me ask
in
you right
this.
quick, sis. Now I
Mhm.
keep getting these calls, and then it like now you're like real small and it's going sideways. No, okay, now they left. Now it's back regular.
I'm confused.
Well, I was confused too. When a
Okay,
call
well
comes in,
let's not talk about that because we are live. This
okay,
is our show. Let's
okay,
just let's just do it, okay?
okay,
Um, and whatever is not working, it will work itself out.
okay.
So we were gonna get centered, and
Mm.
so for those who are in the audience, viewing this wonderful conversation between myself and Sister Lola, wanted us to sort of get grounded, in ourselves. And I was really feeling, um, playing my singing bowl. So, so I'm going to play my singing bowl. I've never done that before,
Beautiful. Oh,
and this singing bowl is really special
mhm.
because I bought it for my journey across the country uh, last year, a Sojourning for Truth, where I went in May for June 1st to the place where Sojourner Truth was born, enslaved, and walked to freedom. And so I well, her singing voice is really well known. I mean, people said that she just had a gorgeous singing voice, similar to our dear ancestor Fannie Lou Hamer,
Mhm.
gorgeous singing voices. And so I wasn't quite comfortable because I didn't get a chance to like take a workshop and practice. So I thought, well, I will get a singing bowl, and this will be my voice. And so there's a shop, a Himalayan shop here where in the neighborhood where I live. And so I went, and um, and the person there let me try out some different bowls, and there were like huge bowls and smaller bowls. And this one here, I kind of like the sound of it, and I thought Sojourner Truth would like it too. So so just to sort of center us, I just thought maybe we could take some breaths and just listen to this bowl, sing our song because it's sort of it's tuned for our for a certain chakra.
Yes.
I don't know which one, but I'm gonna say it's tuned to my heart, the heart chakra, because I'm sort of like uh, I really resonate with heart energy, and also the throat chakra, speaking your
Mhm.
truth,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and also the root chakra, which is around your belly button right below,
Mhm.
because we need to ground ourselves, you know, and
Yeah.
not let other energies sort of take us away from who we are. So we need to ground ourselves, we send our roots down into Great Mother Earth and connect, with those energies, and then of course our heart, which is it's the God, it's the goddess, it's that consciousness that we need to follow more so than this stuff up here,
Yes.
which sometimes is a lot reliable and sometimes it's not. The brain, the thinking is just about keeping us alive.
Yes.
And then we need to always speak our truth. Sometimes we like to censor ourselves. So just listen in, and then we're gonna have Sister Lola talk to us and share some of these wise sayings and tell us about how she got published and her journey, because it's a marvelous story all in itself. Sit it right in my hand. Uh, Ashe.
Mm.
Yes.
Shay. Thank you, sis.
Oh, but thank you. Um, so we are going to dedicate um, this conversation to our ancestors, particularly to the wombs that bore the wombs, 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 all the way back to the first womb that stepped off of those ships onto this landscape, and to the more recent wombs that bore us, who are sitting here right now, talking to you, and for you who are sitting there listening to us and participating. We feel your energy. So, Sister Lola, oh my goodness, what Mama used to say.
Mm.
Mama used to say.
So
I yeah, I mean, I know you from Sacred Space, that wonderful uh, community uh, conversation that um, would invite, the sages among us to gather and sort of conjure up, good stuff. I mean, the same stuff, that your book talks about. You would have special guests, and it was hosted by a health and human services, health and human services, health and human resources education center,
mhm.
and it moved a couple of times. But I
Yeah.
remember when it was on Broadway, and the Creation and Spirituality University was right there, and I remember sometimes um, there was also the East Bay Meditation Center ended up being there, and Alice Walker's a part of the community, and sometimes after your wonderful gathering, people go there and meditate. I mean, it was around 20th and Broadway, and it was like the place you go for wellness, like healing your soul kind of wellness. And I
Yeah.
just always saw you as that sister, that convener. And I know that when you were doing your work, and you could tell us more about it, I think you were struggling with some a life-threatening illness, and you're still here. And I always just think you're such a beautiful light in our community. I mean, you just look at her, everybody. Isn't she gorgeous? And wearing my favorite color, red.
All right.
Yeah. So just talk to us about your journey. I know that you weren't born here. You came here from the South, and so you from that part, where the roots are grown, like, and then you brought all that medicine here to the Bay. But I think you lived in Southern California too. So you lived quite a few places. So tell us as much of your story as you like. I'm just sort of skipping around, just going on things I think I remember.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Good. No, I appreciate it. so much, Sister Wanda. I appreciate you and respect you and the work you do in the community. Ma'apa. And everything else that you do. You're just a wonderful light in the community overall and humanity. So that's how I feel about you. That's the work you do. That's what you represent. And if I pray that, it's not always, we don't always have to be out there doing stuff, being seen, this and that. It's about being, when you're at a place where you're being represents or just calls upon balance and energy and love. That's what it's about. It's not about all that other stuff. So I really feel strongly about that. And I appreciate you a lot in what you do. So thank you. Yes, I want to say my name is Lola Hanif, Sister Lola. I was born in a small town in Kansas, on the Kansas-Oklahoma border, called Coffeyville, Kansas. And I used to, I must say that I used to wonder why God did that to me, because I never felt like I fit in. I used to, as a matter of fact, that's my husband coughing. As a matter of fact, I used to think, I came to a point, I'm like, oh, I must have been, I've been adopted, But then after a while, I realized, well, I look like everybody in my family, and my mother wouldn't have adopted anybody, let alone me. So, I had to come to that realization and acceptance. So that's I have a little sketch, little picture in my book that one of my granddaughters drew of me, because I have a memory of, I used to love to twirl around and look up at the sky and see all the floating clouds. And I remember twirling around and saying, I must be from up there, because I'm not from here, And my grandparents lived next door, thank goodness. My great grandparents lived across the street. My grandmother's eldest sister and her husband lived across the alley from us. Her brother lived across the street from them and his family, and my grandfather's mother's aunt lived next door to them. And there was all other relatives back and forth through the yard all day, every day. And every time they came through the yard, you better say hi, or you were in trouble. So I grew up with that kind of support, and I really appreciate it a lot. Now I appreciate it a lot. So much then, but I did so much then, especially my grandparents. My grandmother was she was just a real power in the community and in the family. Everybody thought my grandfather was a minister because he was that type of person. He was just always doing stuff. He started the Good Samaritan Club and this type of thing. And he said it was for widow women with children. So I remember on Thanksgivings and Christmas, they would have big baskets of food, including a turkey, for people to have. Yes, that's mama. That's my mama, Letha Slaughter. And she was a little bitty something. I just want to read a little something about her.
Certainly.
Okay. I dedicated this book to Letha Slaughter, Mama, my grandmother. Special acknowledgement also goes to Elizabeth Carroll Reddin's mother dear. That's my mother. And they used to call Mama, this is a picture. You just held it up, but this is.
Nice.
Mama was about 5'1" or 2. But she did not take any mess. But you know what? She also was at a place where she understood that it's not about, like, say, going to church all the time, being up in there all the time. It's not about all of that. It's about your presence, like I always said. I can remember we lived close to the railroad track, about a half a block. And there sometimes the train would stall or something, and a hobo or something would get off the train And they would go to my grandparents' house to the backyard because mama would have a table set up for people to have something to eat. That she just believed in that, people looking out for people. She said she remembers sitting in circles in the backyard, teaching women how to make little girls' dresses out of men's shirts. She just, I remember them sitting in circles and shelling peas and talking about stuff. So that really, at the time, I didn't understand just how really deep it went for me, but it did. And mama was always there for me. Like at a certain point, we had kind of a rough beginning in my childhood with abuse and so forth with my father, and because he was an abused person too. And we really, we reconciled, and I'm so thankful that we did, because I shared with him as an adult um, how I felt. And he asked me, he was like, well, baby, why don't you wanna say hi to daddy? We had made up and everything, but I was calling my brother because my brother had been sick and daddy was there. Now, everybody was real concerned about my brother and daddy because they had it in for each other. And so I thought to myself, now, am I going to punk out and just say, oh, that's so high, or am I going to speak my truth? So I told him, I said, well, I just want you to know I don't appreciate how you treated us when we were growing up. My daddy broke down and started crying. He said, baby, please forgive me. I loved you then. I love you now. I just didn't know how to show it. Please forgive daddy. And from that point on, I was like in my 30s, I believe. We had, at that time, we had moved to Washington State. And so from that point on, something just left me as far as all that anger and rage and resentment about him. And I started to see life in a whole nother way too, because things really everybody does have a point of view. And when you speak your truth, you really can work through things, just don't leave it on the table, festering and stuff, just being stanky and old. So I'm just saying that's part of my experience. But I'd like to acknowledge the Sisters of Sacred Space spiritual support group for their amazing love, supportiveness, and input. And the names are listed in the back of the book. The sisters, we had a couple of different gatherings where we got together and we had so much fun laughing and talking and coming up with all these old sayings and stuff. And I just wanted to thank and acknowledge the sisters for that, because it was really something that was really amazing. And also, I want to also say, and Colette was really a big part of that also. She's the person she had the office space that they allowed us to meet there and so forth. And she participated in a lot of it. But I just want to say that it's just been quite a journey for me. Let's see.
Yeah.
Now,
can I interrupt you for a sec?
Yeah, you can.
I was just thinking when you were talking about your mother and how she had, these sewing circles, for mothers to make dresses out of, their husband's shirts for their daughters, and how she fed people. You always had a table set for the person who was hungry, and so the person could eat and also maintain their dignity, as they, took, partake, had food, or just sat down and had a conversation, because your mother wasn't just like over there. She was out there. She came and she socialized, like, you are welcome in my home, in my space. So then I just think, your sacred space, you just sort of like following in, the way that you were raised. I mean, your mother raised you like this. So it's no wonder that
my grandmother raised me that way.
Oh, your grandmother.
Okay. Grandmother. we lived next door to my grandparents.
Okay.
And my mother, when I was 5 years old, my mother and father got divorced, and it was long overdue. That's all I can say. That's
Mm,
why I say that was this a reckoning, or we made up when I was like 30 some years old. With
mhm,
I made up with my father. I mean, we had seen him since then. He'd been back and forth, and he had calmed down a whole lot because, like I say, he was an abused person. To just show how that happens, he grew up, and his mother was abused by his father,
mm,
and she had about 7 or 8 kids, and she ran off and left and he wouldn't let her take the kids with him. So then the oldest three had to take care of the other four, and he was the third one. So his daddy always, because always said that he looked just like his mother, so he always called a lot of hell because of that. So he was angry, but then he wanted to prove something and everything, and he and my mom met, and they really loved each other. I have some nice little pictures of them when they were young and when they got married and all that. And um, he went off to the war, and while he was there, he was in that big battle. And oh, what is that? It was a big battle they had. It will come to my mind, but
which war? Which war?
in World War II.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said that New Guinea.
Mm,
He said that he said there was so much blood and everything. He said he was just scared to death. So he just ran off into the jungle and hid and cried and prayed. But then he said it came to him, he had to deal with it. So he went back out there. He ended up winning the medal.
mm,
When he came back, he was supposed to be able to go to college. He was supposed to be able to have a house and all this stuff for his family. He really wanted to do good like that. But then, as it turned out, they left it up to the individual states. So Kansas said no.
oh,
So that's kind of how that rage. This is what I realized later on in life, and after actually sitting down and talking to him as adults,
mhm,
about how things are putting the pieces together. So I just think it's so important, like folks just sitting around and talking. So that's part of how this what Mama used to say also came about, because although we have about 900 different sayings in here, every day different sayings come to me. So I have a space in the back so we can make a list of, oh, that's right, and write it down ourselves.
mhm,
But yeah, it's been quite a journey.
mm. Yeah, yeah. Um, so even though, um, you got this idea a while back,
Mhm.
you had to be pushed. So we have, you know, um, uh, Jerry Lange, our wonderful sister who broke
Yeah.
all kinds of uh, barriers and opened up so many ways as a journalist. And
Yeah.
she made her transition last year. Um, and she wrote the foreword before you had a book.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then it was always like a family affair. You mentioned your granddaughter drew a picture of you. You can show it to us if you like. And
Mhm.
then and then your daughter, I think she edited
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
helping you with your PR. Um,
Yes.
and so I was wondering if you could talk about your creative team, those angels, that are hanging
Yes.
out with you, making this possible. And then I was wondering if you could maybe talk about how the book is divided, because you have different sections, which are
Mhm.
pretty cool. And maybe you could share a few sayings from these different sections and then hang out in one that you really, really like. Oh my God, I've been using this one a lot. Like one of your sayings that I told you when you said it, and then I heard it, someone else said it. I think Maya Angelou might be the person who said it, that has been gotten credit for it. But when someone tells you who they are,
Mhm.
don't argue with them. Like, don't say, no, no, you're not that person. Like, believe them. Believe them. Who in the heck do you
Yeah.
think you are that you can tell a person who they are? Believe them. And I'm like, I think I say that every day.
Yeah.
I think I have to remind myself, Wanda, you can only change, and you can only change yourself. You can only say
Yes,
what you know and what who you are. You
yes,
can't do that with anybody, not even your children.
yes,
You got to
yes,
respect people's right
absolutely,
to name themselves.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, one of my favorites is a hard head makes a soft behind. But but anyway, I'll share this little picture. Like I mentioned about how I used to like to twirl around in the front yard and look up at the
Yes.
clouds.
Hmm.
Well, this is a picture of that Naima. That's one of my granddaughters. That she sketched of me as a little
Oh.
girl. Can you see this? As a little girl
Mhm.
in the front yard.
Yes. Yes.
This is my great grandmother, and she wore long dresses. Everybody
Hmm.
tried to influence her to raise the hem a little bit. She wasn't having it. She was just wearing a long dress and with some little high top boots. That's what she did. And
Hmm.
then this was my grandmother, and they're standing across the street looking at me. I'm looking up there saying, um, I must be from up there because I'm just not from here. And then my grandmother was looking over and saying, what that child looking at? And my great grandma said, that girl is such a mess. Anyway, so I'm just sharing that because that is what it felt like.
Hmm. Right.
Um, and with Jerry Lange, I have to say that Jerry Lange is, um, people always say, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. And I wasn't ever into that. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. But back during that time, this was around 2017, um, I went over to visit her, and she was in the midst of moving because her son, he was the young man that was on the Love Boat.
Yeah,
Her son,
Ted
yeah,
Lange. Hmm.
Ted Lange, moving his mom way out some big nice retirement center.
Hmm.
And so I stopped by to see her, and we were just talking and everything. And I said, I'm thinking about writing a book. And she said, you are, about what? And so I told her, and she said, she stopped. She said, I'm going I'm going to write your forward right now. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh no, that to myself, I said, that means I really got to do this. So long story short, though, it really meant a lot to me. And we talked a lot, off and on and so forth. So when she passed away, it was a tremendous loss to the community because she was such a fabulous person, a down to earth person, a well meaning person. And she wanted to see everybody do good, do well. So yeah, that meant a lot right there.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's a really, really nice introduction to nice forward. And it is, yeah, it just goes to how she knew you,
Yes.
and she knew what kind of work
Yeah.
you do, you know.
Yes.
I mean, because
Yes.
you already had a track record. So she didn't need to see the published book
No.
to be able to write,
Yeah.
the forward.
Well, after coming through this whole process of writing the book, I feel like I had a 5-year pregnancy because that's what it took me, about 5 years to go through all of this, and the so much support and so forth. I just knew I had to get this done. It was just like on me.
Mhm.
So, and I wanted to express so much. This is like a tool to me, for generations, because there's so much misunderstanding or lack of understanding or lack of respect, between the generations. People just don't really, a lot of times, the younger people don't really seem to get the older people. And they just go, and the older people don't seem to get the younger people. So that's how I end up with the last chapter, which just kind of came out of nowhere. I thought I was finished with the book, but it just didn't feel like it. And then I thought to myself, that's right. We're always talking and everything. The older people are. Let's hear what younger people have to say. So I
Mhm.
talked to a lot of younger people, my grandchildren and other young people and everything. And so we put together a whole conglomerate of
Mhm.
sayings from younger people now, and they're pretty A lot of them have a lot of edge to it. I'll say that.
Yeah, they do have edge. They're
Yeah,
edgy. Yeah,
yeah,
they vibrate.
yeah, they do.
Yeah. So do you want to, sort of go through the book in any order you
Mhm.
like and share, some sayings from the various different parts? And
Okay.
if it has a story, you can totally share that too.
Yes. Well, there's one part that I opened up that I really like to share, and I'm just going to read you this couple
Okay.
of things here. It says, early Black education / reality check. I often look back and remember those days at the all Black elementary school I attended back home. Well, actually, my whole family attended, including my mother, her siblings, cousins, and peers of that generation. Although it was pretty tough in a lot of ways, including the crab in the bucket way of thinking, we were also blessed with many pearls of wisdom. We could also speak freely to a certain extent regarding racial and personal conduct and realities. Mr. Davis, our generational physical education instructor, would not allow us to slide through a challenge by saying, I can't. He would always say, there is no such thing as can't. You better take that T and can. I have come to appreciate this early lesson in positive thinking throughout my life. When life challenges come up, I know I better keep on keeping on and do what I have to do in order to make things happen. Well, that's just a little pearl of wisdom that
Hmm.
I gained looking back on my situation. A lot of times we find ourselves in a situation, say, oh, I
Hmm.
don't like this. I can't. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. Yeah, like I really like those little sort of intros or commentaries, like the one on page 20, Mama Said When. That's a
yeah,
nice one.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, I like that too. Um, I clearly remember sitting at the kitchen table with my grandmother, Letha. She was reading from the Bible to my brother Alfonso Jr., rest in peace, 2018, and me. Mama shared that the time would come when people would look, but they can't see. It will be as if they have veils over their eyes, but when the veils are released, all will know. And that is one thing that has kept me hopeful. She said, when. And so it just keeps me knowing that things are not always necessarily going to be this way, that nothing is stagnant.
Mhm.
And just keep on keeping on, and you put in what you need to be putting in and keep on rolling on.
Mhm.
So a lot of times, we get caught up in negativity and feeling sad for ourselves.
Right.
Just keep on
Yeah.
going through that.
Hmm.
Um, let's see, another one here. There's I really like the positive. The book is divided up in the positive, the negative, and that type of thing like that. Let me see. We have a lot of positive sayings. Like I said, we have over 900 of these sayings, and we still have more to go.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, chapter 1, positivity, character builder, and then
mm,
chapter 2, negativity, put
mm,
downs. Those are
mm,
nice. There's some
mm.
there's some cool put downs in there.
Oh, okay.
Chapter 3, wisdom, common sense. Chapter 4, relationship. We can hang out there all day.
Mhm.
Chapter 5, funnin', witty, whatever, clever. Chapter 6, comebacks. Comebacks are hot.
Okay.
Chapter 7, miscellaneous, defies category, and that's fun. Chapter 8 is new school. Those are the young people.
Yes.
Contemporary sayings, quotes, and lyrics and hashtags. That's
Mhm.
really nice. I'm sure
Yes.
your younger people really like that there because
Yes.
it's nice to be included. You mentioned your mom said sometimes it's like we have an invisibility cloak, and a lot of times that happens around ageism. If you're
Yes.
young, you don't exist. Or if you're
Exactly.
old, you don't exist.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't seem like both can exist in the same space, but here,
Exactly. Exactly.
in your collection,
Yes.
everybody is valuable.
Yes, yes,
Youngsters are valuable and the
yeah,
elders are valuable. And the folks, between the two, the youth, and the young folks like 30, 40s,
yes,
they're valuable. Everybody's valuable. God
exactly,
isn't junk, so it's like,
exactly,
mm,
exactly. Well, that's part of what's represented on the cover of the book also.
mm,
This is me and all my grandbabies. And so, of course, they're all much older than this. This is different times. And actually, Sydney, my daughter, who's the editor of the book, we came up with this idea. At first, it was just two of the grandchildren. And then our son was like, well, there's more grandbabies than that. And I'm like, it sure is. And then I wanted to also lighten up the vibration on the book. We made it green. So anyway, but I really, really, I just look at it and I just hug it like this because it means so much to me. Yes, so
mm.
much. So anyway, some other sayings here. Uh, Prayer changes things. That's a strong one right there. And
Mhm.
this too shall pass.
Oh yeah. Oh
Used to hear
yeah.
that all the time. You'll understand
Totally.
it better by and by.
Hmm.
Um,
Can
there's
can
no,
we can we can we trade? I got some checked.
yes,
So I'm in chapter one, and I
okay,
just put checks. And so my adopted grandmother, she used to say I was sharp as a tack. I thought she
yeah,
made that up. I didn't, and I'm like, oh, really? I mean, I didn't know anybody else said that. And then I love you to life. I love that.
yeah,
I
that's
love you
nice.
to life. That's
Yes,
so much better than the other one.
yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah. Don't let nobody turn you around. I think that's in a song.
Yes, it is. It
And
is.
God is good. God is good all the time. I love that when people say that.
Yes, yes. I
And
also,
then this one here, I'm sorry. This one here, you can face whatever is facing you. It's like, wow, I didn't know that one. That was like, that's
mhm.
encouraging.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And
Mhm.
I just it brings to mind so much of how our ancestors got through what they had to go through. When I think about whew, to get the boat, all of that stuff, and just being here in the hundreds of years pushing through everything, you had to have some serious spiritual connection and mind over matter stuff. That's why when I realize, I look around and I see what's going on now, I'm just like, wait a minute, don't we understand? Don't people understand? This but a passing thing. We just keep moving and keep going, keep growing. That's how
Mhm.
I feel. And you stick to what you know to be true in your heart, especially spiritually, and understand that you keep rolling on through it, and make
Mhm.
things happen.
Yes.
So yeah, and we did. It was code. We talked in code, so other people didn't know what we were talking about.
Right,
That's what a lot
right.
of people don't understand about a
Mhm.
lot of things that are being said. It was
Mhm.
it was it was code.
Mhm.
So uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then this one here, and then I'm gonna let you say some. If
Mhm.
there is a solution to the problem, there is no problem.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really freeing.
Exactly. It is.
So get
It,
on with it, right?
exactly. Yeah. Sometimes we get so weighted down with actually with the physical material responsibilities and so forth, and understand that it's something bigger than all of that. So how we deal with all of that is how we make it through all of this stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, clean as the board of health. I like
Yeah,
that.
I know that one. I think about that when you think about how my mother would always say, make sure that your underwear is clean.
Yes.
Just in case you're in an accident, somebody got to check.
That's right.
You don't want
Exactly.
your drawers to have holes in them and be dirty. Yeah, that's heck of funny. But yeah, I mean, to this day, I think about that.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
what if I'm unconscious and somebody has to help me?
Yes.
What about me
Right.
Like, is there any part of me I don't want people to see?
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
won't have any control over this.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's almost like a metaphor too, right?
Yes, it
So,
is.
leading a clean life,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
leading an
Absolutely.
exemplary life, leading a life that's, you know, that's a good life, a life
Yes.
that you're not ashamed to live, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Then,
Absolutely.
then when people, like they find out things about you, it's all good.
Yeah, it is all light.
Right, totally, totally, totally. Yeah, the mistakes are life too.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
judge not lest ye be judged.
Mm-hmm.
So, people
Totally.
people and they say, they might not say anything, but what's going on in their mind, like, hey, just keep living. That's another one I like.
Yeah, keep living.
Okay, just keep the good stuff. I really like that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So here.
Yeah, my granddaughter would always tell me, she would say, she don't know me like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing too much, grandma. You're doing too much. And I'm
Too
like,
much.
like, chill. I didn't ask you to fix my life.
Right.
Just listen. You're doing too much.
That's, that's right.
Yeah, and again, until I read it here, I thought I didn't know anybody else said that.
Yes, 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 yeah. It's amazing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There's another portion I want to share here. This is a part of the negativity could be.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, sometimes the whole situation is summed up with one of the worst comments to be said about you. Perhaps you missed out on an event, or maybe someone is just disrespecting your character. A statement like a day late and a dollar short is definitely not what you want to hear, because it means, among other things, that you are unreliable. I brought you in this world, I'll take you out, is usually said to an out of control, disrespectful teenager. Kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. That was just the last straw. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, I like the one. If you liked it, then you should put a ring on it. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
you know that
Yes,
song.
yes,
And then
yes.
pop it off at the mouth,
Yep.
and payback's a fa.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. And I like he's got a willing mind, but he's too light behind.
Oh, that's great. And oh, this one here, when you shoot me, you better shoot straight. You only get one chance. I love that one. I mean, I get
That's
it. You
right.
only get one chance. But
Yeah.
I remember when my younger daughter was uh having, I think her second son,
Hmm.
and the doctors, they wanted to um they wanted to medicate her or something, and we were like, we want to do natural childbirth.
Okay.
And then they said, well, we want to do an IV or something. I said, well, you get one opportunity, you got one chance. So you need to get your expert. You need to get the person that knows how to do this, because you don't get any more chances. You get
Hmm.
one chance. So the woman who was gonna do the stick, she like, I saw her eyes moving, and she left and went and got somebody who did it well. Because sometimes, people think they get opportunity to hurt you. Like, you
That's
can
that's
this and
true.
do this. Like,
That's,
no,
that's true.
no, no.
Yeah.
That's why it's really good, when we're in these institutions, that we have advocates. We have people that will
That,
stand up and not not
yes.
not be pushed
Yes.
around, because
Yeah.
sometimes you can't advocate for yourself.
That's
So it's
true.
like, no, you're not gonna be hurting my child.
That's
Mm-mm.
true. You just make a stand. Exactly. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that thought. That is really true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, another one I like here is called "You Might Be Too Broke to Pay Attention."
Oh my goodness. What section is that one in?
That's under negativity.
I need to look at
Page
that
page
chapter.
31.
Oh, that's heck of funny. Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Two broke.
I mean, the stuff that we'd come up with, just like, yeah, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
shoot.
heck of funny.
An even iron or rust. Now that's one of my favorite ones. My grandmother used to always say that even iron or rust, you know, that just
Mhm.
means, everything gonna wear out after a while. You just keep on it and keep on it.
Mhm.
Don't keep messing around with that. Even iron or rust now.
Yeah, yeah. This one here is cute. I don't know. It's so funny. I was like, Wanda, did you check all of them? I was thinking to myself when I finished reading the book the first time. Um, how old are you? Old enough to eat neck bones? What does that mean? Old
Well,
enough to eat neck bones.
in my estimation, I guess it means like, neck bones can be kind of sharp. I guess I remember when I was little, I was the youngest of the three, and I remember them eating fish, but had to eat the fish head because I couldn't deal with the bones. So
Right.
another thing, my brother used to mock me and call me a fish head. So, but but yeah, so I guess it must mean something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You reap what you sow.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, this one, acting like wild you babies.
Oh, nice.
Did you ever hear that?
That's nice. Oh, this one's cute. She'll squeeze a nickel till the buffalo hollers. That
Yeah,
was back when you used to have buffaloes on the nickels.
exactly,
I remember those buffalo head nickels.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, this is another part here that's before the wisdom section. It
Hmm.
says, these old sayings really carry a lot of weight for me. Follow your first mind, for instance, mean going by your gut feeling. Many
Hmm.
times I am faced with a decision, and out of nowhere, a knowing comes to me in the middle of my body, the stomach.
Mm.
Sometimes I choose to ignore it because, well, it might seem too simple or something like that. But then, after much contemplation, trial, and error, I come back to the original thought, and boom, there it is.
Hmm.
I might think to myself, I should have followed my first mind.
Hmm.
That's an example of wisdom to me. You already know. So that's kind of a thing. And then another piece I like under this category is one monkey don't stop, no show.
Hmm.
And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Did we already mention that one?
I don't know. We can mention it again.
Okay.
That's why they wise, because we got to keep on saying them.
Yes, we do. Another one
Hmm.
is just keep living. Woo!
That's
Mm.
nice. Yeah.
Now, sometimes I remember my grandmother saying that
Hmm.
because she be done told you and told you and told you. You still keep doing something, doing the same thing.
Hmm.
And so she just say, just keep living. And I have
Yeah.
found that true. Sometimes I find myself saying that,
Hmm.
you know, just keep living.
Yeah, yeah. And this one here fits in with that, Sister Lola. Bought sense is better than told. Because, like
Ooh,
sometimes you could tell a person, like your grandmother, and the
yeah.
person didn't get it. But
Hmm.
if they keep on living, they'll get the lesson because they're going to have to live that lesson. You can't tell
Exactly.
them. So
Exactly.
bought sense is better than told. And then
That's right.
people do not know what they do not know.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm. And I really like this one. Don't get out in the middle of the water and can't swim.
ooh. Okay. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. And
Hmm.
these are things that you would just hear, but didn't even, it's like, oh, okay, sure. She's
Yeah.
talking about, you know.
Yeah. And then this one here, what's said in the house stays in the house. I think that's bad advice
I think so too. I think so too.
because
Because
you
a
can't get
lot,
no help. It's like, what you
exactly,
did.
exactly. But then at the same time, it does have some merit to it because if you go outside your house saying certain things, it might be misconstrued or somebody else want to take it and go somewhere else with it that might mess up the whole house. So it's kind of something that you have to kind of play with. But the family business, like they say, that stays in the home, that stays in the house. We don't go outside talking about that stuff.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
thinking like sometimes, when there's, you know, somebody's getting hurt in the house,
Well,
and
yes.
and
Yeah.
then and then, like when I was a kid, the policemen were your friends, like people in uniforms, the fireman was your friend,
Yeah.
the nurse was your friend. And so when you're lost and when you need to talk to somebody, you can talk to somebody in a uniform
Yeah.
because they were community helpers. And
Yes.
so, so I had no I
Yeah.
didn't, I had no pause. If I needed help, I knew I could talk to them. But
Yes.
then, I'm being told in the house, whatever happens in the house, it stays in the house. And I'm like,
Yes.
so I don't even know. I don't even
Right.
think to ask for
Yeah.
help
That's
about
true.
those things which are not healthy in my house, to
Yes.
see if maybe somebody who has some good sense could
Mm-hmm.
talk to my father, could talk to my
Mm-hmm.
mother, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
a kid. I can't do
Right.
anything, but I
Right.
know it. I know
Right.
it's not good because people
Right.
aren't happy.
Right.
So
Right.
so I think that's really when it's important that we have we have communities,
Mm-hmm.
where we know our neighbors, where the children feel safe, where the
Exactly.
parents can trust other grown people, as
Exactly.
opposed to the way it is now. A lot of people don't know their neighbors in the apartment
Oh, yeah.
complex. They don't know the person next door to them. If they need something, they can't go knock on the door.
Right.
It's really
Right.
unfortunate, that we've
Yeah.
become so stratified, like that.
And
Um,
you have situations where this is a little bit different, but when the children, a lot of times now, they talk to their parents like they talk to one of their peers. There's no respect. There's no line for all of
mhm,
that stuff,
yeah.
and 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 the parent can't really do a whole lot about it
Mhm,
because of all the different constrictions that are put upon the family now. So, and then you have so many mental illness situations, where you don't know, just like with my dad, I mean, he really could have used some help, but through time, things worked out, but it was a lot of pain in those years,
mhm,
uh, put on us and upon himself. And
right. Yeah.
he didn't know how to get out of that situation.
Mhm. Yeah, because sometimes people don't know what resources are available.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, yeah, that can short circuit a process that might take you years to figure out, but
Hmm.
it won't take that long if you could get some resources and some support and some help.
But then
Um,
let's just also remember that in those days, also a lot of times, you didn't bring up anything about mental illness. That
mm,
you didn't oh, he crazy, now you see advertisement about counseling and this and that. It wasn't that kind of thing then.
yeah, so
So
if you had any kind of mental illness, you were just crazy. There was just one
it,
one
mhm,
one one way to have mental illness, like you just crazy.
yeah,
You're not
yes,
functional. Stay away from us. We scared.
yeah, yeah,
Like that's the guy who's crazy, and the
right,
kids throw things at the house.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm scared of
mm,
you. that's,
yeah.
that's
Right, exactly. That's another one.
yeah.
Mm,
Another one is haste makes waste. Mhm.
totally.
Take your time and do it right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
ready if I don't go.
Mm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. I like this one. And I remember this: never trust a liar. If he'll lie, he will steal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
another nice one, I've got stars next to these. Don't lose what you have trying to get what you want. Isn't
Ooh,
that wonderful? Like,
ain't that
yeah,
really?
you gotta
Mm-hmm.
hold on to your values, right?
Okay. Yes. Yes. Just have some common sense about yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And then I really like this one. You can't miss what you never had.
If I had, ain't that the
Yeah,
truth? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So
And
much.
this one here is really cute. You
Mm-hmm.
don't take sand to the beach.
Oh,
What's that one mean? You don't take sand to the beach. What's that mean?
I was trying to figure that one out myself.
Yeah, it makes sense because there's all that sand. So why do you need to
Yeah.
take something that's already there?
Yeah, but I guess it means you don't. If you already got all this stuff out there, then you don't need to bring something else because you already got it out there. So what do you need to prop it up some more with? I'm not. I'm just guessing with that one.
Yeah. And then here's another with a star. Problems never leave you in the same place they found you.
Ooh, yes, that's a
Isn't that
good.
nice?
That is a
Yeah.
good one. That
And
is
then
a.
another star one on this page. I'm on page 40, people who have the book. Speak only if your words are more powerful than silence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's real. That's
Mm-hmm.
real. It's
Mm-hmm.
like those looks that your grandma would give you. You know when you know you best to get yourself in order right over there. She didn't have to say nothing.
Yeah. Oh, and here's another one with a star, same page. Just because it's pink, don't make it rosy.
Okay, I like that one too.
Love that one. And there is strength in numbers.
Yes, that's a powerful one right there.
Oh, totally.
Powerful.
Hmm. So, Sister Lola, how do people get this book? Where can they buy it?
Well, they can get this book at Marcus Bookstore. And I love them over at Marcus. They've been really cool with me, and a lot of people come through there. So I really encourage people to go to Marcus Books right here in the community in Oakland. The book is $20, and also they can get it on Amazon.com. They can get it on BarnesandNoble.com. Now we actually had it published through Lulu.com.
Mhm.
Like I say, my oldest daughter, Sydney, she has written 4 books. So when I got to the end of the book, before I got to the part with that younger people say and so forth, I started thinking, oh, what'll I do now? And I thought, oh, wait a minute, let me call Sydney because I had been calling all these different places, self-published, this and that. So she goes, oh, okay, Mom, we'll walk you through it. So that's we went through lulu.com, and they can take you through the steps also on how to self-publish your book. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, super. Yeah, this is a marvelous book. I like this one too. It's got another star, different page, y'all. Um,
Uh-huh.
well, there's bring your own bag of marbles, and
Yes.
then running. But I love it. I put love it. Running after that man is like running after a bus or train. There is always another one coming.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. How you start is how you finish.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
And then white folks will steal the draws off your, you know what.
Mhm. another another one is white folks look up ants behind.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, when one door closes, another one opens.
that's real. It's real.
Mhm. Yeah.
Another one is happy as a pumpkin boys town.
Oh, that's funny.
And used to say that I'd never heard that before.
Hmm.
As a pumpkin boys town, what?
Yeah. And then this one here, I got to start by it because I put checks for almost everything. I had to put a star for some so I
Uh,
can differentiate between them. So which I'm saying is the whole book is a gem. Your reputation will follow you
really, that's right. That's true.
no matter what you say.
That's right,
You
right.
know, I'm thinking right now about some of our celebrities,
Yes.
who think that
Yeah,
they're not an example to
exactly.
those people that are following them, even if they don't want to be. If you're a public person, you have responsibility.
You do.
And when
You
you
do.
do things that are questionable
Hmm.
or you know uh, yeah,
Hmm.
questionable or wrong,
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you're a public person. Somebody wrote a story, somebody videotaped, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't erase that stuff. No matter
Oh,
what you do after it, somebody's
mm-mm.
gonna look it up. You should be doing all
Mhm.
these great things, and
That's
that
right.
one thing will be the thing people remember about you,
Mhm. That's the truth.
which
That's the
is
truth.
like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Which has always been that way, but not to this extent now. Because earlier, there wasn't the technical abilities of, there's always a camera somewhere or this or that. But it was actually on your life record, you know, no
Hmm.
matter what you said or whatever. Yeah, on the surface, but the reality is you really did do that, no matter who really knows,
Yeah,
so there's a
right. Yeah, actions speak louder than words.
yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah, and then
indeed.
I got to start by this one. You can't love anybody until you love yourself.
Ain't that the truth? That's
Hmm.
the truth. Absolutely.
And
Uh,
what's graveyard love? What's that? Graveyard
I,
love.
I don't know. To my thinking, I guess it means you just loving somebody to death. I mean, you
Oh,
go
oh, that's not
down.
healthy. Yeah,
Exactly. You just do anything for them. Just running after them while or what I don't.
yeah. Oh,
With a
wow.
knife or whatever.
Oh, here's a funny one. Don't take relationship advice from single people.
I like that one.
Is that funny? And then this one here, I just love it because it's such an old way of saying things, being equally yoked, be equally yoked,
Mm-hmm.
and people I think about yokes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's something to be said about, who we surround ourselves with,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
do we
Yes.
share values,
Yes.
are we like, are we the same kind of people? Are we
Yes.
cut from the same kind of cloth,
Yes.
that
Yes.
philosophical cloth,
Yes. Yes.
because when you with those kind of people, you don't have to explain anything because they're
Exactly.
thinking the same thing you're thinking. But when
Exactly.
people don't know who you are because they aren't like you,
Exactly.
like those values, you don't share them. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's when you have trouble.
Yes, you do. Yes, you
Mhm.
do. That is
Yeah.
so true. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, just I just I really there's one piece that I want to just read here
Uh-huh.
about the purpose for writing this book is to be a bridge of communication between generations in our African American community. Then I realized we need to hear from younger people and what is it they have to say and how are they saying it. Whew, I was shocked and surprised at the everyday sayings they are sharing among themselves. Check it out,
Mhm.
see what you think. One that I really like, this is millennial advice. Lean into it. I really like,
Oh, love that one. Lean into it.
yeah,
Yes, yes. Lean into it. That's
yes,
really beautiful.
I really,
Yeah, yeah. Don't resist.
yes,
Lean into it.
yes.
Hmm. Oh,
Yes,
that's great. We're gonna have to let that one be the last one. That's
yes,
beautiful. Lean into it. Very
yes,
nice. So,
indeed.
Sister Lola,
Yeah.
any closing thoughts? Are you working on, volume two, or you working on something else? Yeah, talk to us because you said this was like uh carrying a baby 5 years.
Yes.
I mean, you did give birth. I mean, it's fully formed, as they say. You didn't have to do nothing. You didn't have to feed the kid. You didn't have to change no diapers. It came out fully formed. So that's one benefit of carrying a baby 5 years, because
Yeah.
5-year-olds that's a great age, and it came out fully formed. I mean, the baby is talking and walking and being wise and all that kind of great stuff.
Running and jumping
Yeah, yeah, and hula hooping and
and
doing bubbles and eating a good meals and stuff, chewing. You don't have to make no
yeah,
baby food.
exactly. That, um, I feel that I do have another book that's in the brewing, and I'm not going to go into a lot of deep depth about it, except that it's something that is really, really meaningful to me. And it's a lot to share with
Mhm.
everybody and something we can all share together and grow a lot from.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of excited about that. I'm not necessarily looking forward to the, but I think I'm gonna have a different. I've already gotten into it to some degree, a different mindset about it because I've already been through many steps of this journey. But it's something that more and more people are sharing these days and talking
Mhm.
about. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of
Oh,
excited about it. But
awesome.
I just love this, love this book.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Well, mama, parents love their children.
Yes, exactly.
And sometimes, other people say, yeah, that's a cute kid. And some people say, only the mama would love it.
Right.
Um, but in this case, this baby is hecka beautiful. I mean,
Oh, thank
hecka beautiful.
you.
Yeah, your baby is gorgeous.
Oh,
And
thank you.
everyone should run to Marcus if you're in Oakland on
Yes,
Martin Luther King Jr. Way and get
yes,
this book, get a few
yes,
books, give them as gifts because
yes, yes,
people this is the kind of book that you could carry in your purse,
exactly.
like before you act, you could look
Yes,
to the chapter and say,
President.
all right, this is what I should do.
Yes,
Lean into it
yes,
and think, you know.
yes,
Um,
yes,
and
yes.
and then do I need to say anything or should I be
Mm-hmm,
quiet?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
You know?
mm-hmm. That means a lot. That means a lot right there. And I
Mhm.
have to say that it's a lot of times, I mean, every time I read it or just open it and start reading through it, it always makes me laugh, and I like that about it because there's all kinds of energy, all kinds of stuff in there. And I really hope to see more and more people sharing the information and just laughing and coming to some other uh, ways of looking at things,
Mhm.
about
Yeah.
our situation, about life in general,
Yes,
raise, raise
certainly.
vibration.
Certainly, certainly. Yeah, yeah, because you think about conversation starters, you think about people who have these circles where they're in touch with one another, they pray. I'm
Yeah,
thinking, why not have a circle where, you discuss what mama used to say?
yeah,
Handbook
yeah,
of old sayings. So, maybe every time you get together with these five people or whatever, you
yes,
discuss one of these sayings, or you can say, "I've been working on this one,"
yes. That's
and this has been the
great.
result. I'm doing something differently because of
Yes,
what I
yes,
read here, and
yes,
this is
yes,
how it went.
yes,
You
yeah.
know,
That's a
because
great
we
idea.
we don't have conversations. We don't have enough conversations.
No, we don't.
And that's how we learn. That's how we practice being human. You know,
Exactly. Ah,
by doing and speaking and doing. And I think
absolutely.
that's one of the sayings here about,
Yeah.
like, if you say it and you don't do it, like it don't matter. Yeah, yeah. So thank you so much, Sister Lola. It's been really lovely speaking to you. Um, is there anything else you want to tell us besides buy the book, buy the book, buy the book, buy the
Yeah.
book, buy the book, buy
But
the book?
as you see, I have it marked in different places for different special meanings and so forth. But
Mhm.
buy the book and share it with other people as just a conversation starter. Uh, a whole nother brings in a whole nother vibration. What might have started off as an argument or some kind of disagreement or something. Just look in the book and everybody just kind of come to another place with where things are, and it really helps us to get through this period of time that we're in also.
Mhm.
you
Yes,
know
certainly,
we're
certainly.
not we're not alone. The ancestors are with us. They have given us these old sayings also.
Yeah, yeah, they came through and you represent them, sister. You
Oh, okay.
represent, you
Thank,
represent. I'm sure they are hecka pleased. A lot of
thank
times
you.
people always say, our ancestors are angry. It's like, well, keep that, bracket that. I'm not interested in
Okay.
ancestor anger. I'm interested in ancestors being pleased with us.
Yes.
What we doing right. We don't
Absolutely.
need the like negativity. It's bad enough as being a
Yes.
melanated person.
Yeah,
person of African descent in this hemisphere. Like,
ex-
nah, the ancestors, I want them to be happy. Tell me
exactly.
something. Tell me something I'm doing good. Tell me something
Yeah,
I'm doing right. And
yes.
and,
Yeah.
and I want to tell you, sister, like they came through, you know, they singing and dancing here, we laughing, we having fun talking about
Yeah.
this. This is a joy, and I know the ancestors are heck of pleased. Your
Thank
great grandmother, your great grand,
you.
all those folks in the community that you were listening to, and they didn't know you were listening, and you didn't know you were listening until you got ready to do this. Like, oh, I know I heard that.
Exactly. Another thing I like to say is keep on pushing.
Yeah, yeah, we winners, right? That song too, right?
That's why
We
we
a
feel like
winner. Yeah, keep on pushing, and you will get through because we
that's
winners. Our
that's
ancestors are. We're here because our ancestors did not give up.
absolutely, absolutely. And that's one thing I think about too. I think about when I feel really frustrated or sad or whatever, I really stop and think about what our ancestors went through. And that just keeps me going because I'm like, you know what? They were looking towards us. They were making those sacrifices for us to be able to do, to be in a whole nother place. And we just have to come on through and do what we need to do, what we know in our heart we need to do.
Mhm.
And one thing I say, we the ones we've been waiting for.
Oh, totally. Yeah, you do say that a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If not, and you also do another one. If not now, when? Do that one.
Okay.
Yeah, say that one. You say that. You always say that too.
Yeah, if not now, then when?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, and it's us. We got to do it. We can't wait for some great whatever to come rescue us. We got to do it
Yeah.
ourselves.
One thing it brings to mind, and then, we can conclude if you like.
Yes.
One thing it brings to mind is that um, those of us who have lived a certain amount of time on this planet, we have actually witnessed and realized certain things that now younger people don't even have an inkling of an idea of what it was really like, um, just to like I remember my first job. I worked at this certain insurance company in LA. And oh man, that's when the afros were really out, And me and my friend, oh, we had our afros, but we could not wear an afro to work.
Mm.
So we'd have the afro on the weekend, but on the Monday we had to have our hair straight and all this kind of thing. So that's not even younger people now can't even imagine that. And when I see a lot of young people out there, these guys playing basketball with the hair all wild and everything, I just crack up. I just
Mhm.
love it. It's I mean, it's amazing to me.
Mhm. Yeah,
Just
because speaking
just
of
have
hair,
yeah,
we have so many stories around black hair, particularly black women and black hair.
that's right.
When I first started wearing twists, um, maybe I don't know, 30 years ago or something. My brother told me that I should like straighten my hair
Mhm.
and get the job and then
Mhm.
go back to the twist because I'm tired.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was like adjunct, teacher,
Yeah.
in the community college district for like 10 years. And my brother said, it's the hair.
Yeah.
You need to like change the hair,
Mhm.
make it so it can do whatever. And I'm like, no, I want them to know what they're getting. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna present myself as something I'm not. So then
Mhm.
when I show up,
Mhm.
like I am, they're like, who is that person? We can hire her. So anyway, yeah, that's really something. Because yeah, a lot of people don't know
Yeah,
some of the things that we did, by persevering.
exactly.
Um, and then some things that had people had to do because they had to eat.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And
yeah.
even though
So
we tell them and share the stories with them, they still don't have a feeling, like in their gut about what that really must feel like, because they just
mhm,
doing their thing.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. So,
So it's on
it's
us.
yeah, I mean it's okay that they don't know what it feels like, But I think we should acknowledge and appreciate and have gratitude for those who walk those, who
Right.
who did this, set
Walk the
this
walk.
precedent for us,
Yeah.
that opened that door for us.
Yes.
Even if we don't know what it was like before the door was open,
That's right.
because we can't necessarily go there in our feelings because we
Right.
don't have that experience, we can appreciate how Black hair
Hmm.
is valued like other people's hair. Like
Yeah.
kinky hair is not a bad thing. There's no such
Yes.
thing as good hair and bad hair the
Yes.
way it
Yes.
used to be.
Yes.
And even colorism,
Yes.
it's a thing, but it's not a thing because there are laws against that stuff now
Yes.
that are
Yes.
being enforced. There were always laws, but
Right.
now the laws, people suing corporations and winning. So
Yes.
it's like, all right, we can't afford this. Like,
Mhm.
you can wear your hair the way you want to wear your hair. You know, wear your African prints if that's how you
Right.
express
That's
yourself, because it
right.
have nothing to do with how you do your job.
Right.
Because we don't want to get sued. We can't afford it.
Right.
It's
Bottom
not
line.
worth it. We ain't going there. Yeah, yeah. And it's
Oh,
all because of our ancestors. It's all because of,
yeah.
people who are still breath,
That's
because
that's
people live a long time, people that are
that,
70 and 80 and
that,
90 and 100,
yeah.
you know, life was like when they were kids, it wasn't like it
Yes.
is now.
Sure enough.
Not at all. Not at all.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, we can talk
So,
about all that stuff another time too.
oh, totally. So we are spring is getting ready to kick in next week.
Mhm.
We have the vernal equinox.
Yes.
And so that's either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, the 20th, 21st, or 22nd. I didn't
Uh-huh.
check, so I don't know which one it is. But time change, and I'm still trying to catch up with this weirdness because I'm not sleeping.
That-
But
a lot of people are saying that.
yeah, it's bad. I thought we passed a law that said we weren't gonna do this anymore. I
I
got a
thought so
call.
too.
I don't know. I don't know when it's supposed to kick in, but I wish it would carry up and do
I
that.
do too.
Yeah,
Because that
but
really makes a difference, doesn't it? Just in how I feel. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but want to thank the creator for such a beautiful day. It's sunny and the sky is clear in the bay. And
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, and I'm so happy to be speaking to you about your wonderful book. Can you hold it up so people can have
I'll
you
hold it
have it
with
next to you? Yeah, yeah,
what Mama used to say.
yeah. You need to sit back because we can't see you. Remember, I
Oh,
had you come up so close. Yeah, there you go. What? So go out and get your book.
go get your
Go
book,
out and get your book. Do you have
Marcus
any readings
Books,
coming up? That where people can
Amazon.
come get autographs? Do you
Yes.
have anything coming up?
There's a possibility of something in a couple of weeks, but I'll let you
Mm.
know. We can put it out there.
Okay. What about your daughter's website? Does she have events that for your book signings and things? Does she have that on her website?
Actually, she doesn't. She's really involved right now in finishing her doctorate program, but
Oh,
also
right. Yeah.
yeah, but also she just finished a whole series of work with Hanif.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Okay.
a whole music. Oh, it's on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Sister Lola's
Yes.
partner,
Yeah.
husband.
Yeah. So yeah, he's involved in a lot of stuff. All of our kids are really, they're very, very active.
Well, look at their parents.
Yeah, I'm
Look
really
at their
proud of
look at their mama, who
them.
is she's a phenomenal woman. I don't know any other women who've carried babies 5 years before you. I think you have broken some records here.
That's real.
So you take good care, Sister Lola. Thank you so much again. Happy spring.
Oh, thank you so
And
much.
good luck on your book sales. I hope you sell out of this run and you have a new run and another run and another run. This is one of those classics.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Marcus did sell out on the first run. So there's
Excellent.
more there.
So which printing are you in now?
This is the second printing. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, you take good care.
Oh,
Again, what Mama used to say, Handbook of Old Sayings, $20.
okay. Bless you all. Thank you, Sister Wanda.
You're welcome.
Bless
Peace and blessings.